Two tigresses locked in a cage, that's what a fight between Cris Cyborg and Ronda Rousey would have looked like. It's the kind of dream matchup MMA fans never got to see. While Cyborg was dominating during her 20-year MMA career and planning to step into the boxing world, Rousey was climbing her way to the top of the women's MMA scene. It's honestly wild to imagine what could have happened if these two titans had ever faced off inside the Octagon, but guess what? I'm here to tell you exactly how it would have gone down, and trust me, Cris Cyborg would have completely destroyed Ronda Rousey. Let me break it down for you. In case you didn't realize how legendary Cris Cyborg's career run was, let me take you on a quick trip down memory lane. Cris made her fighting debut in 2005 at Show Fight 2 against multiple-time world BJJ champion Erica Payas. At that time, Erica was 5 years senior and Cyborg had nothing but a handball background and some raw Muay Thai instincts. As predicted, Cyborg got submitted in the first round. Her career started with a loss, but it wasn't just a loss, it was a reality check, a moment that exposed the holes in her ground game and forced her to evolve. But like any great fighter, she didn't run from it. Cyborg doubled down on her training, diving headfirst into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling. In November of 2005, just 6 months after her debut loss, Cris Cyborg stepped back into the cage to face Elaine Santiago at Storm Samurai 9 in Curitiba, Brazil. Santiago was making her professional debut and had a reputation as a scrappy striker on the local circuit, but she lacked the experience and raw physicality Cyborg brought into the cage that night. For Cyborg, this was more than just another fight. It was a chance to prove to the fighting world that she's here to rule. And when the fight started, the difference was clear. Cyborg came forward with purpose, controlling the pace from the very first exchange. She used her Muay Thai to pressure Santiago, landing heavy punches and sharp knees in the clinch. Within just 2 minutes of the first round, Santiago was knocked out cold. It was a clean TKO win. It wasn't the biggest fight of her career, but it was the first time she showed what she was capable of when everything clicked. For her next big fight, she faced Shayna Baszler at Elite XC in Stockton. Baszler, a well-respected submission specialist with a 10-4 record. Cyborg, sitting at 5-1, was still rising through the ranks, and this fight was seen as a major test of whether her striking could hold up against a dangerous ground fighter. From the start, Cyborg came out aggressive, using her Muay Thai to land clean punches and knees that stunned Baszler early. The finish came in the second round at 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Cyborg backed Baszler up against the cage, landed a clean right hook, followed by a rapid barrage of punches that forced the referee to stop the fight.
Great. How many more are going to be healthy?
Fight back, Shayna, fight back!
Baszler now takes a leg kick. 20 closing her eyes and just throwing punches.
Ooh, whoa, what a snap!
This win was a turning point. It showed Cyborg could handle high-level grapplers, silencing doubts left over from her debut loss. More importantly, the dominant performance on national television caught the attention of Strikeforce. It paved the way for her to be signed by the promotion and set her up for a title shot against Gina Carano the following year. On August 15th, 2009, she faced Carano for the women's featherweight title. Carano came in undefeated at 7-0 and was widely regarded as the biggest female star in MMA at the time. The fight was heavily promoted, with everybody in the mainstream media chanting for Carano. Cyborg entered the bout with one goal: to make a statement. From the start, she put relentless pressure on Carano, closed the distance with power strikes, landed clean punches and elbows. For most of the round, she kept Carano on the back foot. With just 1 second left in the first round, Cyborg put down Carano on the canvas and kept punching until the bell rang. She won the title via a clear knockout victory. This win made Cyborg the first women's champion in Strikeforce history. From 2009 to 2014, she fought under Strikeforce and Invicta and ruled the women's MMA scene. With some massive wins against big names like Marloes Coenen and Charmaine Tweet, she got suspended for testing positive. Despite these suspensions, weight cut issues, the UFC signed Cyborg in March 2015. At UFC 198, she made her debut against Leslie Smith, a tough and experienced bantamweight with a 7-6-1 record. Although Smith had grit, she was a clear underdog coming into the 140-pound catchweight bout. Cyborg wasted no time. From the moment she walked into the cage, she walked Smith down and unloaded with her trademark punches, knees in the clinch, and forward pressure that gave Smith no chance to settle in. After landing 21 significant strikes, Cyborg connected with a devastating right hand that dropped Smith to the canvas. She followed up with a barrage of ground and pound, forcing referee Herb Dean to stop the fight just 81 seconds into the first round. Cyborg has proved that even after years of delays and promotional hurdles, she has the power to take over the women's MMA scene. In July 2017, Cyborg fought for the UFC featherweight title against Tanya Evinger. Cyborg showed her finesse, striking as she landed 67 significant strikes. Near the beginning of the third round, she finished Evinger with a devastating knee to the head. Cyborg could only defend her title for 2 times because Dana White didn't agree to negotiate another contract with Cyborg's team. Had it not been for years of weight class issues and constant promotional roadblocks, there's little doubt that Cris Cyborg's reign of dominance would have started in the UFC much earlier. At her peak, she wasn't just a champion, she was a one-woman wrecking crew. Her UFC run may have started late, but it was undeniable. Before Amanda Nunes rose to power or the UFC fully committed to building out women's divisions, it was Cyborg who carried the torch. She helped legitimize women's MMA long before it was mainstream. By the time she was leaving UFC, another name was rising in the women's MMA scene, the young, ambitious Ronda Rousey. A matchup between these two in their primes would have been one for the ages. If this fight ever happened, there's really only one outcome you need to know. Cyborg would absolutely destroy Ronda Rousey. When it comes to dominance in women's MMA, a lot of people still bring up Ronda Rousey. And sure, she had her run, quick armbar, and fast finishes, but that doesn't make Cyborg less of a star. She surpasses Rousey in every single aspect of the game. This isn't an opinion, it's a fact backed by years of fighting, records, and brutal performances. Cyborg's striking is unmatchable. She isn't just a knockout artist, but a technical Muay Thai with elite precision that comes from 2 decades of destruction. She has 21 knockouts on her record, while Rousey has 0. While Rousey was throwing wild punches with her chin in the air, Cyborg was landing knees, elbows, and right hands that sent opponents to the floor before they even knew what hit them. Now, people may argue Ronda had the grappling edge due to her judo background, but they often forget that Cyborg learned the ground game the hard way. Her striking is leagues ahead, with technical Muay Thai and 21 knockouts compared to Rousey's basic punches and 0 KO wins. Cyborg's 80% takedown defense neutralizes grapplers, unlike Rousey, who struggled against strikers like Holly Holm. Physically, the difference is massive. Cyborg is a true 145-pounder built like a tank with the strength to overpower fighters even bigger than Rousey. Just look at what she did to Julia Budd, an elite featherweight with size and strength. Meanwhile, Rousey struggled to make 135 and got bullied the moment she faced someone who wasn't afraid of her hype. Rousey's run lasted from 2011 to 2016. A few title defenses and that was it. Cyborg, on the other hand, she's been doing this for 20 years. She's held world titles in 4 different promotions and put together a 20-fight win streak that spanned over a decade. In a hypothetical fight, there's no question how it would end. Rousey would try to clinch and Cyborg would light her up with knees and elbows before finishing with a right hook that puts her flat on the mat. It wouldn't be close. It wouldn't even be competitive. Cris Cyborg didn't just beat fighters, she broke them. And if Ronda Rousey had ever stepped into the cage with her, we all know what would have happened. It would have been total destruction, and there's no 2 ways about it.